Hi, October 25th. Um, Good day at work, thank God. And basically, one of the guys that the guy I worked with today was really good. Like, he did the job, everything really good. And he's just a good worker. So it wasn't a very hard day, even though it was just two of us, kind of. So there's another guy that works in the other place, and it's cute because he's like a religious guy. He became religious, and he was just like a really, really sweet guy. And he asked me, first of all, my age. So I was like, okay, I know where he's getting. He wants to date me, right? So I told him I'm 31, and he's like, are you religious? And I'm like, no. He thought I was religious. He was also really like shocked about my age. So I think he's really feeling the food I bought them. So, besides for him being shocked about my age, once I told him I'm not religious, he's like, I'm like, oh, you wanted to date me? You wanted to ask me out? So he says, well, I wanted to get to know you, put it that way. And I'm like, you know what, I really appreciate that you did it in such a respectful way. And then I told him what happened with the other guy that I worked with, and he basically, I'll be completely honest, I didn't mention in the other video, but the other guy had asked me a few times before that. He had asked me to come to my house, and he asked me where I lived, and like the other guy that kind of sexually harassed me. And he's like, you're single, you don't have a man, don't you have needs? He asked me if I have needs. And I'm like, yeah, right, how's that appropriate? Like, and instead of putting up boundaries and saying like, dude, I'm not comfortable talking about this with you, I was just like a little bit dumbfounded. And he's like, oh, you don't need a dick. He asked me. And I was like, no. And he's like, I shouldn't have continued the conversation, and I told this other guy that wanted to ask me on a date, this other worker, I told him what happened with this other guy, and he's like, oh my God, he's like, that's sexual harassment, like the Me Too movement, like that's what they're all complaining about, like at work, all these stories, so like, he's like, I want to encourage you to go and tell the manager, and, excuse me, also tell the other manager from the other home about what happened. So I'm like, thank you so much. I told him truthfully, if I were religious, I would totally want to date you completely, because he's just such a decent guy, just a decent guy. But I told him, like, I'm not really good in relationships, so I don't think it would work anyway. But I told him, like, I said, anyways, I want to get to know you anyway. And he's like, no, let's not do that, because I don't want to, I'm religious, and I don't want to, you're not religious, and it's not going to work. And so I was like, okay, don't worry about it, But that was like a nice experience. So I contacted the other work, and I told the boss I told her what happened, and they said they're going to talk to him tomorrow, and basically I have bus duty tomorrow, and I have to get the special needs people at where they work, and this other guy that harassed me, he works there, and he goes on the bus home. Like, he gets a ride home on the bus with them also many times, and I'm like, I start getting anxiety because he said they're gonna talk to him about it, and I was like, then I started freaking out, because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see him tomorrow, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. And so I contacted the social worker. Then the social worker, she's like, I told her exactly what happened, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the person who does the whatever to change the whatever it was that you don't need to go. So she did that. Then that person that makes the schedule, she came to talk to me and she's like, why don't you want to go tomorrow? I said, because it's going to be really uncomfortable. I don't want to see him. So she's like, oh, just, it's work, you just go do the job and come back. Just don't look at him, don't think about him. So I was like, okay. And then I got upset because I was like, I felt like I didn't feel heard, and maybe I didn't tell her exactly what happened, what the guy told me, that he asked me if I needed a dick, maybe I didn't tell her that part. I just told him the part where he wanted to come to my house. So then I contacted the social worker again, and I told her I don't think she really understands, like, what's going on, I don't know if I told her or what. So she said, okay, again, she said, okay, I'm going to call the boss and I'm going to tell him, and the manager, and I'm going to tell him what happened, and, we're going to work something out. So she did that, and then she called me, and she's like, she was so sorry, she's apologizing, no, you don't have to go through that, no, it's okay, you don't have to go to work tomorrow, you don't have to go to do the buses tomorrow, it's okay, we worked something out, I'm so sorry it happened. And I was like, thank you so much, I was relieved, and I was relieved because, and I was like, I was on the bus home and I was like, I really need to drink 4% alcohol. I need to relax, from all that, And I feel like people don't really understand the severity of this kind of thing. Like, when something like that happens to a person, it's kind of, maybe it's because he's done it in the past. He's asked me, if he could come to my house, and he asked me where I live and everything, but I didn't think much of it, I was just being friendly, he's being friendly, and first of all, I feel like when I'm friendly, these men, they think that they think I have no boundaries, But I feel like since I've been dating this other guy, I've come to, like, respect myself more because I don't know what it is about the relationship, but I guess I started to respect myself more, so I took it more seriously this time, and it really, really upset me. So, yeah, 'cause the other guy, I guess it's because the guy that I was with, I guess he kind of values the guy that I'm seeing, Yuval. I guess he kind of maybe he values me more as a person, And he said, like, he doesn't want me to go with other guys, and it kind of made me feel, like, it made me feel like he values me, So since then, I guess something's changed over me. I don't know. It's sweet because when I was with him the other night, I was having, like, this dream about, like, being able to move things with my mind, like, physically. Just, I had a dream while I was over spending the night with him. I had a dream that I was able to just go like this and lift something up with my mind. Just look and lift, it was like a really, really cool dream. So I believe it's something good happening to me, Like, I felt powerful, like there's something good happening to my mind. And my sister told me she's proud of me that I didn't just leave it and let things just flow. To be truthful, if this guy wouldn't have acted so strange and he would have just came to me and apologized to me about what happened, I wouldn't be having all this, if he would have had some semblance of respect, you know, and actually apologize, you know, I would maybe have just left it. But he was just acting really strange and avoiding me, and you know what? I don't need to feel like I did something wrong. You know what I mean? I don't feel I did anything wrong. Yeah. I came home now and my cats, they're demanding food. So sweet. I gave them, I bought them the special like food in the can, and now they're, I think it filled them up because usually they eat much more when I give them like tuna or another kind of cat treat. But this, they didn't finish what I gave them, so I think it made them full. And the other lady that gave me the cat, she said that she's okay with it now. She's okay with me having the cat. So she said that she's moving on, and she thinks that the cat has a good home now and I'll take care of him. And I told her either way, you know, like whatever your decision is, I'm fine with, you know. There's many cats that need homes, so it's not like I'm gonna miss. I mean, each cat is individual. Like each person is individual. But I got a lot of stuff done today, so I'm proud of myself. You know. So now I know what sexual harassment is in the workplace. And thanks to Yuval, something happened to my mind. You know, something good. Something good happened to my mind. And yeah, so that's the story about that. Have a good night.